What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Happy Juneteenth. This is Comedy Wham. I'm Gabby Montemayor, your host tonight. Before we get into it, just want to acknowledge today's Juneteenth, aka the first and only time Texas is all
girl.
So today is an important day. Today is worth celebrating. I hope that you guys have been donating to the cause of your choice and signing all the petitions. I'll be linking some petitions that I've signed, and you can sign if you want to. But yeah, that's something worth talking about. It's been a really crazy week this week, you guys. The Supreme Court has ruled that LGBTQIA and Dreamers are allowed to work, while Twitter has ruled that Chris D'Elia and Ansel Elgort are not allowed to work more. So a lot is happening in this world. Everything is changing. Things feel, it's okay if you feel a little bit of like weirdness on the inside. I've been feeling so many things lately, and so I'm finding solace in things that give me joy, like dogs, like my dog and other people's dogs. And so I've been spending a lot of time at the dog park, spending a lot of time looking at dogs. And while doing this, I just started thinking about what would these dogs' socio-political affiliation be? And so I made a presentation, guys. This is my qualitative study. Dogs and their socio-political affiliation by me. It's very scientific. Don't ask too many questions. All right. First up is this fucking guy, the German Shepherd. I don't know how this tilt goes. Our German Shepherd here, he's a Republican. He voted for Trump in the primaries, obviously. You can know about what and who he supports. The NRA, cops, and the Wounded Warrior Project, which is, you know, nice, I guess. His hottest take is Blue Lives Matter. A couple things that are worth noting about our German Shepherd here. He's a total narc, and he sheds a lot. So keep that in mind for that guy. Next up is the Bulldog. Oh, God. Bulldog. He's a Democrat, so Bulldogs are Democrats. He voted for Elizabeth Warren in the primaries. His biggest cause that he supports, Medicare for all. That's because he's got a lot of pre-existing conditions, and his medical bills are very expensive, guys. Lots of medical care for these dudes. His hottest take is that smoking cigarettes actually doesn't trigger his asthma at all. It's worth noting that he might ask you for Adderall, and he had that cough before COVID, so don't be worried. Next up are Labrador Retrievers, all colors, all colors. Political party, they're independent, but they voted for Obama in 2012, not 2008. In the primaries, Labs voted for Joe Biden. They support Boys and Girls Club and Ronald McDonald House, which is nice. His hottest take is I don't see color. It's worth noting that they have a lot of German Shepherd friends from college and business school. So they do Christianity. And they also shed a lot. So, moving on. Next is this thing. Which is technically called a Chinese crested, but that's stupider than what I said. He's a Republican, but he voted for Biden these primaries, so keep that in mind. He supports tax breaks above all else, like above literally all else. He gives a lot of money to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Symphony. His hottest take is it's not inbreeding, it's keeping the bloodlines closed. It's worth noting that he's fiscally conservative, but he's socially liberal, and he will tell you that over and over. Also worth noting that he's really cool vacation house, and he can get you a job at his dad's firm. Last up are the St. Bernards. Hi. Beethoven. He's a socialist, big time socialist. He supports Black Lives Matter, and defunding the police. He also supports free 4-year college, and he wants to abolish all billionaires. His hottest take is that he calls himself a graduate of the School of Life. It's worth noting that he might piss off your family at Thanksgiving, and he also sheds a lot. So keep that in mind when you invite him over for Thanksgiving. All right, you guys, that's what I think dogs voted for. If you have any hot takes, I would love to see them in the comments. Tell me about your dogs. My dog isn't registered to vote, so he fucked up. So he's actually going to be registering now to be voting in November. He did not vote for the primaries, and we had a serious conversation about that. So anyways, moving on. Okay, we've got a really awesome show for you guys tonight. We have comics from all over the world. First up tonight, this guy. He's from Melbourne, Australia. I can't fucking do that. Why did I do that? He's a veteran of comedy and music festivals across 4 continents. I've been to none of those, probably. And give it up, you guys, for Ryan Coffey.
Thank you very much. Excellent to be here. I'm going to do a song, and this one's called, it's a testament to all those things in life that are slightly more difficult than they need to be. And it's called Slightly More Difficult Than It Needs to Be. It takes a bit of work, and it's quite difficult to do, so check this out. Good little guy. Can you hear him? He's cool. All right, let's do that. Let's get some trumpets going. See, I woke up this morning. Yeah, I was hungover as hell. I called for room service, but it was not a hotel. I went to the kitchen through my bleary red eyes. I found the place was a shithole. That this shithole was mine. Oh! Reach for the right Krispies. Well, that's not how you spell crisp. I know how you spell ease either, but I don't know what easy is. I got me a milk carton and said, on the other side, I said, fuck that, I'm a man. And I stupidly tried. And that's slightly more, yes, it's slightly more difficult than it needs to be. It's like trying to eat a pizza with a knife and a fork. It's like changing your clocks for daylight savings, not being late for work. It's like trying to read the time on an analog clock. It's got getting just one tic-tac out of that little tic-tac box. Oh, it is really hard to tell if someone is good looking if they are wearing their sunglasses. Oh, it's always so hard to tell if someone is good looking if they are wearing sunglasses. Because everybody Sudoku or fucking Portuguese. How many irregular verbs do you need? Yeah. It's like one of those vegetarians that eats fish. You're not a vegetarian then, are you? No, you're a pescatarian. Go get yourself a hippie dictionary. Oh, it's slightly more. Yes, it's slightly more difficult than it needs to be. Oh, you don't close your laptop down correctly. Why do you always have to close your laptop down correctly, right? You know, sometimes you shut it down and then you close it. The next time you open it, it's still shutting down for the last time. What the fuck is that all about? You know, someone did come up to me and tell me that, you know, because the setting in your laptop makes that whole joke redundant. But what make that so hard to find? It's slightly more, yeah. It's like childproof caps on poisonous things. Remember the last time you heard about a kid opening up something poisonous and drinking from it and dying? Fucking never. Could also be because childproof caps have been around for a very long time. They're doing an excellent job. But why are they so wide open? Huh? It's slightly more difficult. It's like watermelon that's got seeds in it. Why do we need watermelon that's got seeds in it if we've got seedless watermelon now? Just seems unnecessary. Okay, not all this joke's fine. It's like that second bit of poo. It takes twice as long as the first bit did to do. You know, because you sit down and most of the shit comes out straight away, but then you gotta wait like 20 minutes for the rest. Like, why doesn't it all just come out in one big go? That'd be a lot easier. Yeah, because I'm sitting there on my phone for ages. I've got dents in my knees where my phone goes, my elbows go. I can keep M&M's in there. I don't keep M&M's in there, but I could. I'm just saying. Just keeps, yeah, you can't even break it up into two separate poos. It's just rolling out of your ass like lipstick. It's disgraceful. I'm sorry, it's way too much about. I'm just trying to make a point about poo. Oh, God. It's kind of like if you're a blind person. You're totally blind, and you're trying to work out whether or not you're gay. Surely by the time you found out it's already too late. Yeah. Oh, it's slightly more. Yes, it's slightly more difficult. Yeah, it needs to be. Thank you very much, guys. You've been wonderful. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the show. Cheers.
Give it up for Ryan, you guys. Oh my God. Have you ever seen anything like that? I have questions. I want to know how to replicate that. That also seems like a lot of work. So let's make sure to throw some money. Maybe he can get a job so he can stop spending all day cloning himself. I'm just kidding, Ryan. That was fucking awesome. That was meaner than I thought. Anyways, we've got a bunch more comics coming up. This next gal, very funny. She has very good hair, who I am trying to emulate constantly. She is the host of You Look Like, a roast show in Austin, which I am also a winner of, just saying. Give it up for Holly Cuomo. Woo!
I'm not supposed to be holding this fucking asshole dog. But he crawled into my lap and then farted while Gabby was talking. And I tried so hard not to say anything. Man, say hi to the world. His name is Aries Randall Berries. And he doesn't care about anything. Go away. Anyway, it'll just be my luck if he starts barking, and then you'll just hear me yell, "Shut the fuck up." Like a normal mom. It's crazy. Anyway, so I didn't really know what to talk about tonight, and then we all started talking about video games, and then I'm just gonna tell you how much video games to me. So if anybody works in the video game industry, give me a fucking job. Because I mean, I'll ride this unemployment shit out, but like when it's done, I need a job bad. And if it's showing my asshole in a video game, I'm fine with that. I have no shame. You can't really recognize me. I don't have any like tattoos on my butthole, so it'll be okay. Anyway, I am. Are you done? Okay, I am half Asian. I am Filipino. I'm half Filipino. Thank you. And I found this really good dating website for half Asian fatties. And it's called World of Warcraft. Yeah, it means a lot to me. I've been playing that game since I was 19 years old. I'm 30, almost 33 now. So I've met some dudes on that game. Too many. 8. I've met 8. I think I've seen 7.5 dicks in person. 6.5 have been in me somewhere. And yeah, it's just this isn't really actually about the game. It's just about my life. So I lived in Mississippi just for a short while. Sorry I didn't vote in that state because they took away abortion and they brought it back. Actually, I don't know. That's a lie, but they definitely took it away. So luckily I wasn't fucking then, so I didn't really have that issue. But I was in Mississippi, and this guy that I was talking to in game would say like really sweet stuff to me, be like, "Oh, here's some in-game gold," or like, "Here's a little horsey for your character," or "I can make you come." Just like really sweet stuff. Oh, someone asked which half of me is Asian. The part that disappoints my parents. So, yeah. And yes, I am bragging. I don't know what I'm bragging about, but like my life is great. Anyway, so the guy that I met in game, his name is Justin. That's his real name. I'm not gonna say his last name because I forgot. So he worked for the gaming company in Austin, Texas. That's not why I live here now. Maybe it is, but it's not. And he was just like, "Hey, let me come visit you. I want to put my finger in your puss." And I was like, "Cool. Yeah. Let's do it." Oh my god, my dog's so sad. I'm telling this story. Okay, just don't worry. So yeah, so he drove all the way from Austin, Texas to Columbus, Mississippi, which is approximately 12 hours, to put a finger in me. And it was fine. Like, we met up, and I'd only seen pictures of him, which he smiled with his mouth closed, and he was like fat, which is, I'm fine with it. I love teddy bears. So he like smiled when I first saw him, and he was missing a half a tooth, and I thought he was fucking with me. I like called my friend. I was like, "I think he's fucking with me. I think he has like a boba mouthpiece in his mouth." Nope, it was real. He really was missing teeth. And he was like kind of ugly, but I was pretty desperate, so I still went with it. So we went to the Applebee's or Chili's or TGI Fridays. It was one of those white people places, because he was white, and I thought it would make him comfortable. So he ordered a cheeseburger. I didn't really describe his teeth. His teeth were fucked up, but he was missing a half a tooth, but not like a bottom half. It was a side half. I don't know how that anatomy works, but he did order a cheeseburger. I'm pretty sure he didn't pay for my meal. But yeah, he bit into the cheeseburger and then half of his tooth came off. And then he was like, this is embarrassing. So he ripped the other quarter of his tooth out of his face. And then he put it in a napkin, like retainer style, to save it for later. That was the perfect time to make that trombone noise, the sad trombone. Anyway, his aunt bought him some new teeth because his mom didn't love him. And I sucked his dick for $200. And it wasn't like cash. It was like in game time. So it was like a whole year's worth of internet World of Warcraft game time. And then he was like telling everybody on the game, he's like, yeah, she sucked my dick for like stuff. And I was like, no, I did. I will suck all of you off. So yeah, I mean, I am unemployed. I'm pretty desperate. I don't want to suck dick anymore, but I'll do what I gotta. I'll show you my butthole. Not really. Bye later.
Guys, virtual sex worker. Yes? Am I back? Am I on? Are we good? We're good. Oh. I think the guy that I share my internet with, it's like not a roommate, but he lives below me. I think he's like harvesting Bitcoin or using the dark web or something because it's been sucking lately. Give it up for Holly, y'all. She's a virtual sex worker.
Yeah.
But does real sex for virtual prizes, but just once. We'll protect her at all costs. Follow her on Instagram. All right, our next comic, this guy is from Tucson, Arizona. He has opened up for the tiny queen, Natasha Leggero, and he's also, you can hear him on the Comedy Wham podcast. What's a Comedy Wham podcast, you ask? That's our podcast, Comedy Wham. So Comedy Wham, you don't know, is your source for all things Austin comedy. We've got like articles and podcast episodes, obviously, with this guy, Andrew Horniman. And there's a calendar and events and all that stuff. So go to comedywham.com all the time, every day, bookmark it, make it your homepage, and support Austin comedy. And support Austin comedian Andrew Horniman. Woo! Shoot.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here in my room. I'm an Austin comedian, but I moved back home. So I was in Austin. Now I'm back in Tucson, and life is it's insane. I miss Austin, but I also there's a dry heat here, but people are I can't go out because of coronavirus, because Arizona's the hottest spot right now for coronavirus. I'm going from one place to another. It's okay. Everybody's dying. Everybody's dying. What am I doing? This is supposed to be funny. Hi. I had notes. I moved in with my aunt, and I'm in a family now. I moved in with my family, and I've lived alone for about 10 years. So it's hard to accept love from like, people who say they love you. It's weird. It's weird to do that. And I do go out with my mask and my gloves because my aunt loves the dollar store because we're half Mexican. And I know it's a great. I like to say I'm half Mexican because right now my white side can't handle all the guilt. And I wish I could say that on stage. Like, I guess I'm on stage. There's people that are here. I could hear the comics kind of laughing and I like to dig myself a hole and then crawl myself out of it. Like, I like to find the line and make the audience feel guilty for laughing. I can't do that anymore. Not really. I mean, I guess there is a mic that's open right now. There's a club that's open in Arizona, which is also highest case of coronaviruses, but like if they laugh, they might be spreading. Let's talk about dick joke. Oh yeah, no, because so we go to the dollar store. My aunt's really good because she knows how to get the good deals because she calls truck days. That's when the trucks come in on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. She knows all the workers there. She knows where to get the good deals. She's like an insider trader there. I've gone there like 7 times in the past week. And I'm like making eyes at one of the workers there. Like he's like, we're smiling. He is gorgeous. He's I know he's at the dollar store, whatever. I'll treat him with my unemployment check. He's gorgeous, but every time I go there, he just gets younger. Like last time I saw him, I saw a pimple on his face, and I'm like, uh-oh. But he has beautiful eyes. I just have this fantasy about taking him out and taking off his mask and then finding a binky. Like yeah, it's gross. I don't know. I hope he's 18. Or doesn't talk. Oh God. This is live. I know this is live. I know that was an awful thing to say. Okay. You have a problem when like Netflix keeps on suggesting a lot of father-son relationship dramas. Like, this was the time to call my dad. Like, Netflix was like, hey, call your father. And then so I did. I called my father. And I thought how he was just a tired man. He's just a tired man, doesn't understand things. Of course, he neglected his gay son. Like he just doesn't get a clue about stuff. I asked him the last time he felt relaxed. And my dad said Afghanistan. I know. See, look, some people come back from Afghanistan with PTSD, but not my father. He comes back refreshed. Because at least in war, he has a focus. Here, okay, so that was... I don't have a focus. Right now, I don't have a focus. That's a weird thing to say. I appreciate the comics that are laughing. If you're laughing at home, good. Please know that don't take me too seriously. Oh my God. I'm already getting heckled by the comics. Okay, so one of them messaged me, will they see the foot? Not if you don't pay me. Okay, and I'll show you my foot. I'll show you whatever you want if you Venmo me money. If you Venmo me money, I will do whatever. And then I think the show will become illegal. I think that's not legal. I don't know. This becomes like a sex working thing. I'm very horny right now. Like I just have all this repression. I want to be held. I don't know. My favorite kind of porn is just watching people hug naked. Like okay, sure. Okay, so I did have this boyfriend, kind of. There was this guy that I was with. He was the most beautiful man in the whole entire world, and I was like, he broke up with me, and sometimes I close my eyes and jerk off to him, but like but he was the most beautiful man in the whole entire world, and I thought so. And when people look at him, they think the same thing. Like he's just that gorgeous. Like people turn an eye, like they double take him. Like he's so pretty that if he was alive in the 70s, he would have died in the 90s. And like AIDS. Pre-coronavirus, I'm so afraid of people just kissing people. Like oh my God. Okay, so I went to this party one time. I don't even know. I feel like I'm high, but I'm not. I just didn't take any notes, but I sound like this nervous energy. Okay, so because I appreciate the laughter. I miss just performing in a live area. I like, I want to see a live performance. Like, I want everybody to like support. Like, man, I would see live birth if it had an LED screen and a whole bunch of people cheering with no mask. I would, if a woman was giving birth live and people were cheering and going crazy, I would be like, push it, Bethany. I don't, that's a weird thing to close on. That's such a weird joke to close on, but I am. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Andrew Horniman, you guys, lonely Arizonian. I don't know. They're both fine. Venmo this guy so we can get a weighted blanket and stop hitting on minors at the dollar store. Or follow him on Instagram if you're over 18. That would be great too. He loves the attention. He'll send you a pic of whatever you want. Just ask nicely. Right, Andrew? Right. Okay. Our next comic, you guys. This gal is from LA. So you've heard her on the Lady to Lady podcast. You've seen her on Comedy Freaking Central, and you're about to see her right freaking now on your screen. Give it up for Brandy Posey. Woo! Yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry about COVID. I think this is all my fault, and I'm sorry. At the beginning of the year, New Year's Day, me and 3 of my friends decided to go to the Charles Manson caves because we wanted to start off 2020 in a real weird way. There's a rock from the Charles Manson cave because I collect real goth crystals. That's how I live in this world. Fuck your quartz. I want a rock from where Charles Manson fingered a child. That's good. This is the energy I'm trying to bring into my life. Do I have another stone from near where the cabin where Christopher Dorner was burned alive? Yes, I do. It's fine. Do I have a hoarder neighbor that when she died a couple months ago, when they went through her house, they found a rusty machete? Do I have that rusty machete? Yes, I do. Am I the worst prop comic in the fucking world now that COVID has happened? Yes, that's where I'm at as a fucking person. This is just where we are now, baby. Feels good to be ready for the end times. But I took this rock, and I think I gotta put it back. I think this is because of me. I just want to apologize. I've been thinking about Charles Manson a lot actually during all of this because I read an article last year when he died that's been sticking with me a lot. In his prison cell, once they taken him to the hospital and they went through his belongings, in his prison cell, they found a hot air balloon catalog, which is the most optimistic thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, Charles Manson was still planning an escape, and like the most whimsical mistake that you can think of in your life. Charles Manson was still, can you imagine having that kind of positivity? I'm trying to find that for myself in COVID. If I could just have enough faith in the world that, you know what, maybe a box with a hot air balloon would get through prison security and they would let me blow it up for hours with fire in the lawn, and then I could just Wizard of Oz my way away. I want to find that positivity, that optimism in myself during COVID. I think that's what we need to get through this shit. I think that's what we're going after. I live in LA and I'm in my 30s, so I have a lot of friends that are witches. It's pretty fun. They've been real quiet in the last couple of months though. It's funny. I'm open to a lot of that stuff though, because it's like, to me, I don't know, it's like the only religion there hasn't been like a war fought over. You know, like they're like astrology and shit. There haven't been a bunch of like Capricorns murdering a bunch of Pisces in the desert for 100 years. You know, it's not like there have a bunch of Aquariuses have been like diddling children and then like being moved around within like a structure for fucking thousands of years until we kind of almost out them a little bit, but then we just keep moving them around. It's fine. The Catholic Church is fucking great. Can't wait for comedy to come back so I can bring this on stage with me all the time. It's gonna be real fun. But I was in a crystal shop recently with a friend of mine, and while we were there, I was pointing around and I picked up this rock and I was like, oh, this is pretty. And then I read that it was a fertility crystal, and then I threw it across the room. And that was the moment that I was like, oh fuck, maybe you do believe in magic. Learn about yourself and the world. I don't know. Obviously there's a lot going on right now. People want to talk about like white privilege and shit. And like, I know we definitely have it, because at the beginning of COVID, a week and a half into all of this happening, there was a car chase down my street at 4 a.m. And when I went outside to be like, what the hell is going on? There was a backpack that had been thrown out of a car on the hood of my car. And I was like, well, I'm not touching that. But then I came back like 5 hours later when I woke up for real and it was still there. So I was like, well, now I get to go through a weird JanSport that's on my car. This would be great. And when I looked inside of it, I found a Ziploc bag full of drugs. It was a Ziploc bag full of drugs. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do with this. So I called the cops. One of the few times in my life I've ever called the cops. And I was like, hi, a Karen is speaking. I found a backpack full of drugs on my car. Do you need this for evidence? Do you need this? There was something horrible happened on my street last night. It woke me up. And the cop on the other end, this is how you know cops are useless. The cop goes, oh, is there an ID in the backpack? And I said, no. And he goes, oh, well, you can just throw it away.
Okay.
Tell me, like, a black teenage boy calls and is like, sir, I found a backpack full of drugs and I would like to dispose of it responsibly. Immediately dead. This guy was like, okay, white lady, you do whatever you got to do with those drugs. Guess what? I just gave them to my friend who is a drug dealer. That's just what I did. Because I was like, well, I don't know. If you flush them down the toilet, they fuck up the water table. So I guess he'll just take care of them instead. Whatever. I'd rather people that pay for them take them versus like fucking up somebody. That is the definition of white privilege. A man being like, you sound like you would, whatever. You guys get it. Fucking ridiculous. That's how this started for me. It was just running into a fucking backpack full of drugs. And it's gotten weirder since. The other day I was just working out of nowhere, like silently just working on something, and then my Google Home turned on and it just goes, okay, I'll play the Bon Iver station on Spotify. And then it just started, and I just slowly looked at it and I was like, do you need something from me? And then it just stopped playing. So I think the CIA person that's listening to me in my house killed himself. It's exciting. That was his final cry for help, to be like, let me just request the saddest indie for a moment so I feel like I reached somewhere into the world. Good. I don't know. I'm at the point in quarantine where I'm just eating things out of jars with knives. Haven't used a plate in weeks. It's very exciting. One person I think is doing pretty well in quarantine that nobody's we have not given her the due that she deserves is the Peloton wife. Remember, like 4 months ago, everyone was like, "Oh, this bitch, her husband bought her a Peloton. What a piece of shit." She's the only one getting jacked right now. She's having a great goddamn time. She's like, "I'm just here doing my thing." I don't know about your everyone else's cities, but in LA, you could not find a 15-pound dumbbell for 100 miles in any direction in this city when this quarantine started. It was fucking insane. I remember, like, I called the big five up the street for me at once to be like, "Do you guys have weights?" And they were like, "Absolutely not." And I was like, "Okay, all right." And then I decided to just keep calling out as far just to see how far away the next 15-pound weight was for me. I'm a touring comic. I have nothing else to do. So I called big fives for 2.5 hours until I finally found one that was literally 250 miles away. And I was like, well, that's not worth it, but maybe. See how bored I get with all this shit. Yeah, that's the sound of my triceps falling. It's exciting. Let's see. I'll close with this. The one thing that I have been doing that's been fun to get me through quarantine, because the news is depressing every day. Here's a thing you can do while you're watching the news. What I've started doing is just holding one of my boobs like I am a villain and it is my pet cat. Just going, yes, yes. Everything's going exactly according to plan. And it's just made everything go down a little bit smoother. Anyway, that's me. I'm Brandy Posey. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Give it up for Brandy Posey and her rusty machete.
Woo!
You should have a band. Or Brandy Posey and the Pelotons.
Yeah.
Which is the only way I've ever heard that pronounced. I've been trying to get my hands on a Peloton. I actually like house sat for free. Almost stole it for the ship. But I didn't because it's really heavy. Anyways, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, a lot more than I can count. Comics up tonight. This next guy, he's also an Austin comic. He co-hosts Beamed In every second Thursday at Spider House when there is not a global pandemic. In the meantime, he is on social media, just getting in trouble as per usual. Give it up for Andrew Wagner.
Woo!
Folks, I hope you can hear me and I hope you can see me. It's me, Andrew Wagner, the Austin comic. I haven't been a comic in Austin for so long now that I feel like that's not even true anymore. I've been at my parents' house in Dallas since all of this started. I didn't mean to be at my parents' house in Dallas for all of this. It happened on accident. I came home I came to Dallas on March 13th to visit my girlfriend, and my parents called and they're like, "Hey, this COVID stuff looks pretty serious. You should probably just hang out here for a few days till it dies down." And now it is, as you know, June. So I'm here on accident or mistake. Hard to say. I miss all of you so much. I miss everyone, even all these people who I can't see and have never met before. I miss you. I wish I could sniff you. Sometimes it hurts you to rhyme. I miss everything about my old life. I even miss like just going to work. I miss my job. I used to be a counselor for recently divorced Christian men in their 20s. I'm not divorced or Christian, but somebody tell that to my face and haircut because they are singing a different song. But yeah, if you can believe it, I grew up going to church a lot. You know, wrap your tiny stupid brains around that. I grew up going to church a bunch, so much. Some people think they grew up going to church a lot. Like you ask them, like, "Oh yeah, we went to church a lot, like every Easter and Christmas, which is not going to church a lot. In God's eyes, that's like wearing a Thrasher hoodie if you don't skate. God hates posers, and you will be punished for it. My family went to church a lot. We went every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, every Wednesday night, a couple Fridays out of the month, and 2 mission trips every summer. You know, God probably doesn't pick favorites, but you know, if he does, sorry to everybody else. We did it. We went to all the church, and it was terrible. I hated going to church when I was a kid. The worst of all the churches was Sunday morning church, because I had to sing in the choir, and I had to put on like the little robe, which there's no such thing as a little robe. All robes are gigantic, and I just had to sit up on the pulpit in a sea of like other 13-year-old boys. So I was just like in this horrible nightmare pot of puberty and morning breath, and I had to sit there and listen to the pastor's whole sermon every single time, and he wouldn't even really like talk about God or anything. He would just kind of like complain about stuff that happened to him that week. And I don't know if you can imagine how much it sucks to just have to sit quietly while some idiot with a microphone just complains about stuff that happened to him that week, but I do not recommend it. And he wouldn't even like tie it into the Bible. He would just kind of like say something he doesn't like and then say that the devil did it, right? So he'd just be like, I was walking down the aisle of an Albertsons recently with my wife Edna, who you all know, and I stopped dead in my tracks when I saw Diet Coke with a twist of lime. And I thought, God, where are you when we need you most? That's a boring sermon. You gotta punch that up a little bit. Even Jesus in the stained glass window was like, oh my God, why have you forsaken me again? Eat that. Boy, oh boy. So I'm back in it now. I'm back at my parents' place, and we're doing it. It's we don't go to church obviously, but being here is like going to church. We say grace before every meal. Grace is intimidating. Grace is like the closest that my pasty family will ever come to freestyle rapping, and you know, thank God for that. At least, if nothing else, thank God that my family will never freestyle rap outside of the context of grace. Never know what to say. We're rarely on beat. You can always tell somebody's stalling their grace based on how many times they add awesome to their dear God. They're just like, dear, holy, awesome, all-knowing, wonderfully awesome, totally tubular and awesome God. Why is everyone calling God awesome so much? Does he have like a bunch of dirt bikes or something? If he does, then I'm back in. I'm back in a big way for the dirt bikes. It's hard to pray. We're getting into it now. It's hard to pray because like you don't know what God looks like. So it's like, who am I talking to right now? That's it, which I kind of is what this feels like, incidentally. This is in years. But it's like in Christianity, or at least like Western Christianity, like we've kind of like agreed that like God just looks like a guy or whatever, which is intimidating. And it feels like a missed opportunity too. Like I like to imagine that like all the religions were made at the same time and everybody like designed their god at the same time, like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. They're all just like sitting around a table, and the DM was like, so Hindus, what do you got for your god? And they're like, well, among several, we have a blue genderless 6-armed god of destruction, so that's pretty sick. And everyone's like, yeah, totally, that's sick. And they're like, all right, Muslims, what's the deal with your god? What do they look like? And they're like, well, actually, you know, our god too beautiful to be crafted by human hands or words, and which is super sick. And then they get to the Christians, and the Christians are like, oh, our God, he's an awesome God. He's reigns from heaven above. He's so awesome, our God. He's like, he just looks like a regular guy. He's just like a regular guy, but maybe like a little bit older. He's kind of like a grandpa, but like a little bit sexy. If a grandpa could be like a little bit sexy, got like a great big bushy beard, and he keeps it well maintained with like CBD beard oil. It's very sexy, and he would never wear a mask. That's my God. So I think that's it for me. Amen, or whatever. Thanks for having me, everybody. See you later.
Give it up for Andrew. Awesome. Andrew, who likes dirt bikes. Venmo him if you like his stuff. Venmo him if you want to pray for his salvation. He thinks he's fine. I think he's destined to hell. So we'll see what happens. You. Andrew, I was actually an altar girl as well. I grew up Catholic. I was an altar girl. Talk about boys club, man. I just
You lucked out.
couldn't get enough attention in there, you know? Anyway, our next comic, y'all, we are in for a treat. This gal is also from Phoenix. She is the founder of Bird City Comedy Festival. Look it up on the internet. Give it up for Genevieve Rice.
Woo! Hey, thanks for having me here at Isolation Comedy. I'm so glad to be here. I miss doing comedy a lot. I've missed it so much, actually. I had to tell myself that I was pretty funny for a woman. Yeah, the other day I made a really good dinner and I rewarded myself with 2 drink tickets. Well, of course. So. But a little something about me. I have never had 2 guys fight over me, but I have had 2 cats fight over who gets to watch me go to the bathroom. Which I personally think is better because those cats have definitely seen that show before and they're coming back to mama for another ticket. Very, very flattering. But my husband and I, my whole family, we've been isolated pretty much the whole time since mid-March, and there's a lot of things I miss. I miss going to movie theaters. I miss going to get groceries without having to wear a hazmat suit. I miss sharing a lollipop with 20 to 30 of my closest friends. I'm kidding, obviously. Like, no adult has 20 to 30 close friends. Like, we're in a cult. But there's one thing I don't miss is the weird things that random people would say to me about my 14-month-old daughter. I had multiple strangers came up to me and told me that my daughter was going to be a heartbreaker. Like, what a weird thing to say about a baby. Like, oh, she's so cute. One day she's gonna grow up and she's gonna ruin multiple people's lives. Like, oh my gosh, she's gonna make multiple men cry in their cars because they can't possess her beauty. Like, we're at the library. Like, maybe stop with the dark prophecies, Linda. Like, so strange. But my husband and I have been going on these like long drives to kind of that's kind of been like our fun thing we've been doing. We're going to like different haunts in our neighborhood and stuff like that. And we went by this shopping center that used to have a Borders Books. And we looked what went in its place, and it's a gun range. Yeah. I can't think of a better metaphor for America. My gosh, like, and if you don't know what a metaphor is, that's why we need more bookstores. Fairness, they both have magazines. But my, you know, with a 14-month-old daughter, I've been thinking about how I'm going to raise her in the face of police brutality, and I've decided that I'm not going to show her any movies or TV that glorify cops. So guess what? We are not watching Paw Patrol. Kindergarten Cop, you're out. No thank you, Turner and Hooch. Some people say it's a Christmas movie about Die Hard. I say it's a movie we're not gonna watch. But I did mention that I'm married. I just want to mention that someone loves me. So, but I got to be truthful about this. I haven't always been married. Sorry to admit it. I wasn't a married baby, as cute as that would have been. Been on bad dates back in the day. I went out with a man who ordered milk on a date. This is a human adult man. We weren't eating anything spicy or cereal or cookies. We had a full menu of drinks to choose from. This wasn't one of those all milk restaurants. He just chose milk, and I just had to accept it and later go to therapy. I also dated a man who told me that I was one of the prettiest girls at Sears. Which means that he ranked the girls at Sears, and I came out near the top. I don't want to be cocky and assume as number one because this wasn't Kohl's. But I think we can all agree that Mama can win it in Kohl's. Like if there's one thing I know about myself, I know that if I'm next to a pile of Lee jeans, I shine like a diamond. I also dated a man who very casually told me that he stole $8,000 from his job. And that was not the last date. Because 2005, Genevieve found that resourceful. But I am married now. I'm married to a doctor. He is a doctor of jazz. Now he can write prescriptions. They'll just be for Miles Davis. But my husband's he's a jazz man. He's a jazz guitarist, and he's kind of a misunderstood breed. And I feel like it's kind of my job as a jazz wife to help clear up the many myths and misconceptions that are out there about jazz people. There's a few things I want to make clear. First of all, he does not have a ponytail. That's blues. He's also never called anyone cat or daddy-o in my presence. Now he does do heroin. That's just because that's the law. Jazz law. I'm gonna leave you guys on this. I lost 70 pounds last year, and I don't even have a joke. I just want to let you know that. But I'm really close to my weight goals. I'm 10 pounds away from being able to post a picture of myself in bikini without a 5-paragraph body essay. And I'm 20 pounds away from being able to post that same bikini picture without someone commenting, "I love your confidence." Thank you very much, guys. I'm Genevieve Rice.
Woo! Yeah.
Give it up for Genevieve Rice, everybody. When you said you lost 70 pounds, I thought you were going to make like a divorce joke or something, and you just had a really tiny jazz musician husband. But congrats on the weight loss. You know, there is a scale of vocabulary that people use to describe your body when they can see a lot of it. So there's like daring and brave and like real, you know, like there's just so many versions of like, you don't look that good, but I can't tell you anything about it. So I'm somewhere in there depending on the time of the month it is. Anyways. Our next comic, another Austin comedian. There's a few of us tonight. Last Austin comic of the night, this gal. You can catch her on a few episodes of this podcast. It's a fictional fantasy podcast called Under the Shroud. She came out from the shroud tonight. Give it up for Melody Schiffler.
Hello. It's me. What's up? Happy Juneteenth. Happy quarantine. I don't know. It's such a weird time to be around. I spent the day like supporting Black businesses and just reading a bunch of depressing shit, which is always great. I felt like a little weird about performing tonight, honestly, just because I felt like, it's kind of taking time to be like, it's me, it's kind of a Becky move, but I feel that I'm not a Becky, but I'm not yet a Karen, it could be in my future. There's a Karen screaming inside. No, I think it's weird. It's like, since we've all been indoctrinated with oppressive ideas, you have to go inside and reflect. And I was kind of thinking it's like cleaning out your garage, if you have a lot of stuff, you unbox it and you're like, wow, is this my grandma's? Like, I didn't realize I had this, it's rusty and irrelevant. Should really get rid of it. I was thinking about how far, what kind of activism I'm comfortable with. I think I'm cool with getting arrested, just because I'm really lonely, honestly. Would be nice to be touched. It's almost like getting cuddled if you want to think about it. Just lean in. Good for the cause. It kind of works out for everybody. Well, creeps are in the news. Creeps creeped in. Shit, it's not even about them. They're still fucking in the news. Jesus. Chris D'Elia, like, who's surprised? Like, it has like the genetics of a gas station attendant. Like it just looks like somebody, I don't know, dropped him in a hairy sink. But it honestly reminds me of a lot of dudes that I knew when I was a teenager, and I thought I'd talk about that, which ended up getting me kicked out of my first apartment. So here we go. I was 17. And I decided to get a one-bedroom apartment with my friend for like our senior year in high school. And it's a total clubhouse, and it's the way where you don't know anything about the world. So you think like I don't know. I was like, oh, I have $10 left for groceries. That's great. Like, perfect. I can just eat spaghetti the whole week. That's amazing. Everything's going to work out. And so we had a total clubhouse vibe. There was, this was back when you had landlines. Well, you had both, honestly. I hate to break it to you. There was not a great shift. There was a lot of people doing both. So I had a cell phone and I also had a landline. And the cool thing about our landline, though, was that we received prank phone calls. Like somehow the Dell customer service line had gotten crossed with ours. And so people would call us and be like, is this Dell customer service? And after a couple times, we were like, yeah. And just give people, bullshit computer advice. It's like somebody calling you up and being like, hey, you in the mood to make a prank call? And you're like, yeah, sure. What's up? Go off. Go ahead. And we also lived above this like Satanist. We didn't know right off the bat he was a Satanist, but he definitely wanted to talk about it. So it didn't take long to be like, okay, yeah. He was also a filmmaker, which I think he might have been schizophrenic. I don't know. There was a lot going on with this guy. He gave us one of his movies, and we smoked a bunch of weed and thought it was the funniest thing we'd ever seen. So we in turn were like, we really love your films. Keep them coming because they're really funny. And then I ended up like going over to his apartment to cut his hair one time because he was like complaining about it and I needed extra money. And he ended up telling me that that he worshipped me privately and that he wanted to teach me Satanism. And I was like, I have to go. I am so busy with school. It's and I went home and was like, guys, if he asks, I'm never home. Okay, that's just I'm not gonna be home. Just let me finish high school. I'm gonna bounce. And then simultaneously, my roommate had invited a couple of our punk friends to live with us, and they in turn invited other people to stay with us. And I had no control. And one of these people was another creepy dude. I think it's weird how in retrospect it's like, why were there so many creepy dudes around? And it's like, oh, because you're like a young and an insecure situation. You think, yeah, of course they're around. They're like, oh, perfect. That's just how it works. And he definitely let me know how he felt about me. And I was like, all right, well, I gotta go again. So anyway, one night he's drinking whiskey with my roommate and they're being really loud. And the downstairs Satanist neighbor is like, you guys need to cut it out. And he already knows how the Satanist feels about me. So there are two older men who have feelings for me that are now fighting about music because he's down there. I know. He goes down there and he's like, well, you're a fucking creep and none of us like you anyway, so fuck you, and we're listening to this music and blah blah blah. And comes back up there. I had just gotten home from work, but I was like, what's going on? He's like, he wants us to turn it down. I was like, what is loud? I realize you're having a night there with Jim Beam, but maybe you could turn down the GGL in a little bit. You're in your 30s, just want to say. So I go to take a bath after work. And then after I'm done with my bath, I get out and my roommate had just closed the door and the front door, and he was like, dude, you're never going to believe what just happened. And then we hear this like, and it's a cop knock, like, and they're like, police, open up. And I was like, what'd you fucking do? And so I go, I am ready to talk to them. At this point, I'd become like the most reasonable face of the house, because otherwise you have just, I don't know, like gross pedophiles and fucking 18-year-old punk dudes. So I had like a nice approachable, yes, officer, can I help you? And apparently they start getting in a fight because the Satanist came upstairs and starts going, I'm going to put a curse on you. And he's like, don't touch me. You're not going to put a curse on me, and also don't touch me. And he's like, no, but I am. My left hand is cursed. So he keeps going to them, and he's like taking off his pyramid belt, like, dude, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And it finally just whips him in the head a couple of times and runs away. So he's MIA. The other guy's like filling out a police report. I go into the bedroom and I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I hear from the closet up in the top, I hear like, hey, Melody, are they gone? And he had run outside and then around and back into the apartment and up and had taken my mace out of my bag and was crawling around in the ceiling going, ah, like, because he didn't want to get caught by the cops. I don't know. I feel like he maybe was on speed. So, you know, it was never going to work between us. That's, you know, because I was not going to be a teenager forever. So I think that was a big part of the draw. And also, I think he's in prison now. So anyway, that's my story. That's what I wanted to touch on. You guys, thank you for supporting the show. And yeah, I'm going to hand it off to Gabby. Bye.
Give it up for Melody, aging out of the sleepless pervert's radar. Happens to us all, you know. We just keep getting older, and their interest stays at the same age. Great. R.I.P. Crystalia. Have fun at open mics. We got 3 more comics tonight. 3 more fabulous girls. This next gal is from Philadelphia. We've seen her on Punchline Philly and Helium. She also has kick-ass hair. Curly Girls represent. Give it up for Rachel Foglett, everyone. Woo!
Hey everybody, how are we doing? Are we drinking? You can feel free to answer in the Zoom or in the internet, whatever. I'm used to like half yelling into the void now and talking to the Zoom, so you know, just say what you feel. Someone called me a functional alcoholic recently because like they're concerned people are drinking too much in quarantine, and I'm like, you know, there's a deadly virus, social unrest, murder hornets. Can we have this? Like, is vodka fine? Like, can you calm the fuck down? I just think, like, to call me a functional alcoholic, like, I said thank you. That's a weird compliment to put in front of an insult. Like, you don't say that with anything else, like any other bad habit, like functional overeater or functional vapor. Why drinking do we do this? Like, I cleaned my entire house in quarantine. I paid all my bills on time. I've been blacked out this entire time. Okay. Like, if I'm any kind of alcoholic, it's not a functional one, it's an exceptional one. Let's change that verbiage here. Anyway, I'm gonna do a little merch promo. Oh god, it's it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, you gotta commit to the bit. It's what we have. I'm in my bedroom. So I think we can stop saying uncertain times, right? Like, I'm pretty certain. Like, I know what day to day. I know I'm gonna wake up. I know I'm gonna do comedy at my computer. It's gonna be weird. It's not. I'm certain. Like, I'm pretty certain. I know we're fucked. One thing that's happened, it's gotten warmer, so there's more bugs in our house. I live in Philly. I don't know what happens other places, but including bugs, including spiders, and I don't like spiders. I can handle other bugs, but spiders have too many legs. I don't fuck with them. I don't like them. And my roommate does a thing everybody says about spiders. He's like, it's fine, Rachel. They're good because they kill the other bugs. I don't think that's a good argument. I'm sorry. We kill the other bugs. Sounds to me like spiders are just moving their way up. Like, oh, they murder all their peers, like, so they're fine. Like, no, they're just, no, like, that's not, and okay, big spider fans, okay. I just don't want them in the house. Whew, I've been going to therapy, clap it up for that. Actually been getting help. It's hard to write jokes during this time. I've been getting help writing jokes from my therapist, and it's not like what you think. Like, she doesn't write jokes for me. I started doing a thing where I write a joke about anything I say that makes her write something down. She takes a note, I take a note. We are a team. She's been helping me reframe negative thoughts. She's like, you've probably heard people say things like, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. And she said, why don't you try one? And I was like, when you're codependent, you're never alone. I mean, come on. Haven't you ever been in a relationship that's so bad you just stay? Like, that's like, I'll let the butterfly go, but I would appreciate a text, okay? Like, just something. The worst thing, honestly, the thing that scares me most about being codependent is I don't want to be a ghost, because I think that ghosts are just all the dead people that are codependent, because who else would fucking do that? Like, come on, guys, like, just let it go. They can't, like, they're here, they're the worst. They're the worst. They haunt things, they move shit around, yeah, like, that's, I don't want to do, I don't want to be that. Cool, that was a new thought that I had. I've been cheated on. Anybody else? Clap it up. Been cheated on. Yeah, it's weird to do this joke when yeah, like there's like 5 people that could clap maybe. If you're in your house and you didn't clap, you're wrong. Because but I get it, there's like a stigma when you get cheated on in society, it's like your fault, you know. And I learned this the hard way scrolling through Instagram, minding my own business, and I saw a meme that said, never let your man leave the house hungry or horny. Which sounds harsh, but I actually agree with it. Never let your man leave the house hungry or horny. In fact, I say take it a step further, more extreme. Never let your man leave the house. You know, just time to a chair in the basement and put Love the Way You Lie by Eminem featuring Rihanna on repeat. Like, he'll get it. Honestly, quarantine's gonna make me even more jealous. I'm gonna be like, why are you standing 4 feet with her? What do you have going on? It's a crazy time. I've been vanilla shamed. It's weird. I like really basic porn. Someone was talking about that earlier. Like, I like your classic boss secretary, teacher student. You know, and people like, you know, people will talk about kink shaming, but I've been vanilla shamed, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I come fast, okay? Like, I just need 5 minutes and a firm surface. Like, that's it. In fact, like, quarantine's gonna make it even worse. Like, I'm just gonna be like, anybody outside, oh my God, you don't live in my house? That is so taboo and hot. Like, for like a day, I'm gonna be turned on. But like it'll be really easy to fuck me for like a day after quarantine, and then after that, like, I'll be bored. So okay, that was weird. I think the thing with porn for me is like the big dick thing, and I don't mean like regular big guy dick. I mean like he takes off his pants, it plops onto the floor, rolls out like a red carpet. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all that dick. You know, like, I feel like I need a storage space or something for it. Like, you know, it's like bulk store shopping. You know, like, yes, I could probably eventually drink all of this cola, but I can't do it all in one sitting. You know, like, I'll probably just get sick. Okay, and I'll just come clean. I'm bad at blowjobs. I suck at blowjobs. I probably deserve to be cheated on. It's perfect. It's because I have a small mouth, and I know that's the reason I'm bad at it, because men are always like, Rachel, I just need more space. And I love that. And, you know, but it's but a guy friend of mine I was like, oh, it's uncomfortable because you gag. And he's like, but that's so hot when the chicks gag and they get you guys know about the blowjob tears. You get the tears because the dick's in your throat. And I'm like, look, if you're turned on by the blowjob tears, we could just cut out the middleman. Hurt my feelings, okay? Like, everybody wins. It's perfect. Look, I just like to come. 2020 orgasms are either clitoris or against us. That's my time. Thank you for listening.
Woo!
Give it up for Rachel, you guys. Spitting truths left and right. It's 2020. We shouldn't be doing blowjobs anymore. I think we're all about equality. I think we've put enough blowjobs like into the ether. Like, there should be like if there's a scale, like this scale is very much in favor of the blowjobs. There's been too many blowjobs. not enough everything else. I think let's just take a break, take a year off. We'll come back to it. We'll revisit it as a society. Rachel, you and I can talk about that later. All right, we've got 2 more comics tonight, 2 more amazing comics. This next gal is from New Orleans. She is a founding member of No Lie Comedy Collective. Give it up for Sierra Fitzgerald.
Woo! Woo!
Hey guys, Sierra Fitzgerald, another year older. My birthday just passed. It's funny, like as a man, when you get older, everyone's like, ooh, he's a little older, he's more distinguished. No one calls an older woman distinguished. Every year older is another perk of your youth that you lose out on. I never thought of myself as older, but I knew I was when people stopped offering me drugs in bars. If you've never been offered a drug in a bar, then you're clearly a man. But my wake-up call, I was out one night having a great time, go to the bathroom. For those of you who don't know, when ladies go to the bathroom, the first 2 minutes before you pee and this last 7 minutes after you're done are social times. I don't make the rules, I just have to follow them. So I'm in there during my final 7. These 2 ladies walk in, they're all dolled up with their good knees and having a great night. And, you know, we bond over eyeliner or whatever you talk about. We never remember. And they start to head into the stall together. And one of them looks and's like, should we invite her? And the other one says, she doesn't look like the type. Now, there's only 2 reasons that women go into the stall together, and neither one of them had hands big enough to fish for a lost tampon. So I'm mad. I'm so mad. I'm wearing a leather jacket. How dare you? I'm clearly the type. And I'm venting and I'm so upset, and I'm talking about how I did ecstasy in the 90s. And then it hit me that I probably shouldn't do drugs with people who I've done drugs their age. Yeah, good times. But I've come to terms with that. You know, what's a girl to do? This quarantine's fun, yes. Go coronavirus. I'm living pretty much alone, except for this little terrorist here, my dog Lola. She is basically the drunkest member of every bachelorette party. Go. Sorry, she wants to get in on the show. You know, all she wants to do is make out with strangers because they have tacos. And she's sweet, but you know, I get to thinking, maybe I need more. Maybe I need the next person. What am I going to do when we're shut in for round 2? And I started to think, dating apps are not the way. Tinder was fun, but it's not the way to something long term. And I'm thinking, to really get what I need out of a relationship, I'm going to try and get kidnapped. Hear me out. Every time you hear a news story from some girl who was abducted, she's with them for 6 months, 2 years, 15 years. That's long term, man. I can't make it past 6 weeks. All I know is that one day I'm going to be hanging out at home and the kids are going to be like, how did you and dad meet? And I'm going to be like, well, it all started one day in the parking lot of a Kroger. And to this day, I never let him live it down when we run out of milk. Wonder what happened to those groceries. Yeah, I've had a good time though. I've done a lot of time going out. I love a good night out. Tell you about one of my best/worst nights out. I was in a small town that thinks it's a city called Lake Charles, Louisiana. If you've heard of it, congratulations. I hope your grandma lives there. Fun place. The bars all close at 2. And coming from New Orleans, you're not used to bars closing. I ended up in a house party, all kinds of great things, right? I went to a festival. They had shrimp nachos. Surprisingly, one of the best things I've ever had in my life. You get the chance to try shrimp nachos. Have a great night, and I end up in a nightclub, and it's on the outskirts, so it gets to close at 5 a.m. Very fancy. Having a great time dancing. The DJ, I think I can describe him as very owner's nephew-ish. Like his skills were okay, but not up to par to be the nightclub DJ on a weekend night. Like I'm sitting there in the club looking through my phone for DJ equipment because I'm not petty, but I would like to take his job. And, you know, I'm having an okay time. And then out of nowhere, the DJ does something right. And I hear those great chords of our national anthem. Dun, 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 dun. And if you don't know, whenever Back That Ass Up comes on, every single person must hit the dance floor. If you don't, you're a terrorist. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. So here I am in this town that I'll never go back to. I've got a knee on the dance floor, a leg propped up on a bar stool. I am twerking like my life depends on it. And this man is in my ear telling me how sexy I am. And I have to look him in his eye and say, this is not about you. I'm doing this for the 99 and the 2000. And I'm having a great time. And suddenly, I feel a rumbling in my tumbly. Guys, I'm not a religious person. I don't pray often. But if you feel the need to pray, small town in the South is the place to do it. And I pray that I'm gonna get through this. And like a miracle, the dance floor parts. And I'm able to get up from a position that you should never have to get up from when you feel a rumbling and you're tumbling. And I'm able to make this sprint because this light is shining down upon me. And I make it just in time. And this might be the proper time to let y'all know I was wearing a romper. Yep, wore a romper to the club because I thought it was cute. It was real cute, except that I had shrimp nachos at a festival outside in the middle of Louisiana. Not my finest moment. Mistakes were made. I was so cocky that night, thinking I was better than everybody else in that room. But I tell you what's humbling, standing there butt naked with your clothes hanging on the purse hook because there's 2 inches of standing water and you're also wearing sandals. Yeah. But suddenly I made it through. And after about 20 or 30 minutes, I was finally able to regroup and pull myself together and walk out of there. And by walk out of there, I mean shuffle out because I can't move too fast. No sudden movements. And I guess that DJ got to keep his job because I wasn't going back in there. Never showing face in that place again. Yep. So I am wrapping up here tonight. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday night. If you are still young and your knees are still good, go do a lap around the block with a wine bottle. You'll make some new friends. Have a great night.
for Sierra, you guys.
Yeah.
That was not a glowing review of these nachos. You said you should try them, and then your story said don't try them. So that's a no for me, dog. I've also never been offered drugs in a bar bathroom, but I am young, but I think it's just because I'm not cool. So I might make it to 30 without ever saying no to a stranger's drugs. We'll see. There's still time to change that, universe. Let's make it happen. We've got one more comic tonight, you guys. Last comic of the night. This gal, she is great. And lots of people have said that. Everyone says that about her. I asked her what her Lyft passenger rating was. She said 5 stars, so she's basically a unicorn. Let's give it up for Sasha Saka, everybody.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Oh my goodness, it's good to be here. Good to be with such amazing comics. I love the format of this show because if you don't know what's going on in the background, I feel like a news anchor. Like, because I'll just be standing there for a while and then I'm just smiling and he's just like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, how's it going? What's up? Hey, we're here in my childhood bedroom where the trauma started, so you know it's gonna be good. No, I love it. Oh man, I have been home for 3 months. What's up? Welcome to the worst Zoom camera on the show. I don't know. I got blue light blocking glasses because I've been working from home, and I expected a quality product when I bought these things, but what I didn't expect was to look like John Lennon and Yoko Ono at the same time. I'm here to break up the Beatles, is what I'm saying. I don't know. Oh man, I don't know. Is anybody else quarantining with their family? Is this just everybody who doesn't have their mic muted? It's nuts. Like I'm quarantining with my mom, and if you don't know what it's like to have an Asian mom, just imagine all the cyberbullying you've ever had in your whole life just materialize into this little Asian lady, and then she does your laundry sometimes. Like that's the vibe at home right now. And I don't know if this woman loves me or not, is what I'm trying to say. Like, because like I get a lot of shit being at home because I'm a little bit thicker from below the shoulders as far as no one can see, and when you have an Asian mom, like she's constantly just body shaming you, but I'll try to combat that, like I'll try to give myself affirmations because that's what Instagram tells me to do, and I'll be in the mirror just like, all right, today you're a queen, you're gonna kill it, and then I go outside and my mom's just like, sashimi, you're turning into a little piggy, aren't you? And I'm like, Mom, I'm not fat, I'm thick, okay, guys? Like that. With 2 C's. And she's just like, whatever helps you sleep at night, huh? And then she just keeps moving on to wash my whites. It's awful. Traumatized. I like, because my mom is mean, and like my dad's dumb. That's what I got going on at home. Mom's mean, dad's dumb as rocks. And it's not so much for what you think it would be. He's Persian, so there's a lot of weird dynamics going on. And we'll go out to drink in public, unfortunately. And when he's ordering from a waitress, she'll come up just very normally like, oh, like, can I get your drinks? And then she'll card me because I look like a 12-year-old. And then she'll not card my dad. And then he gets upset. He's like, I don't understand why they didn't card me. And I'm like, well, maybe because you look like you were there when they barreled this whiskey. So they're just trying to not be rude right now. They're trying to keep their job, Dad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad with my father. I feel like the one thing I prepared for in this quarantine before all this started was the fact that I'm a feminist, and that's annoying, to the point of where I don't shave my leg hair. And I know it bothers people around me, but at least I told my boyfriend, I was like, aren't you glad that I was gross before this started? So now you're not surprised. And like, my mom is the one who gives me the most shit about it. Like, she'll see my legs and she's just like, Sashimi, your legs. And I'm like, Mom, I can't hear you over the sound of me being liberated right now. Okay, I'm fine with this. I'm okay with this. And she's just like, it's worse than daddy's. And I'm like, it's like daddy's. I don't think it's worse than daddy's. I think it's like about the same. For those of you who didn't laugh, that's just the silence of the patriarchy, and I reject how you feel. I don't know. I used to work at a sex shop. That's always fun. Give it up for people fucking, right?
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh my gosh, that dog is so cute. How can I do my set now? Look at this dog. Is that a corgi? What's happening? Oh my god. I'm so distracted. Don't ever put a dog like that in front of my face. I will stop the show. Like, no, I don't know. I used to work at a sex shop. That dog would never be allowed. But I was there for like 2 years. And I don't know, you get a lot of shit when you work at a sex shop like that because guys are just like, nah, man, she's gonna put something in my butt. And that's not the only thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do other things to your butt. I was there for so long. Oh my god, it was like forever. Like, when I was there, I remember the worst thing that I always got was people didn't really know much about their bodies. And they would just make assumptions all day long. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the dry panty challenge. Have you guys seen this on the internet? Dry panty? No? Okay, well, welcome to my TED Talk. So dry panty challenge, it was basically where girls were posting their panties after a whole day of wearing them, and there was nothing on there. Such to say that they're healthier because of this. And I'm here to let you guys know that if you see that and she's an adult, her pussy's broken. That's the only thing that's happening there. That is broken. Like, nobody wants your desert snatch, okay? I don't know why you are bragging. But it's always just like you never see like female rappers like, oh yeah, pussy on ShamWow. Like, that's not a thing that happens, so I don't know why you're making it a thing that happens. It's awful. I don't know. The one thing that I noticed from this quarantine is there's a lot of anti-Asian sentiment going on, particularly so much so to where my mom cannot cough normally in public. Like, we were at a grocery store and this woman was holding it in so hard. She was just like like the whole time, and I was like, Mom, just, it's okay to cough. Like, we might get kicked out, but it's okay. Just do it anyways. It's fine. But if you don't know this about Filipino women, like, we are loud and we talk back. We're not really like the best people to get into a confrontation with because we don't fit that stereotype. So unfortunately, because of this, when she goes out into the world, I have to tell my dad, I'm like, no matter what she said to you, no matter all the names she's called you, please take care of my mom, because I know for a fact that he's the kind of guy who would just let somebody get a couple shots in. Like, I'm being so serious. Like, she would probably be getting attacked, like just decked at a store. And then he would just be like, oh my God, someone call the cops, please. So, well, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate all of you.
Give it up for Sasha, you guys, and her non-dry panties.
Never.
And panty club, baby. Never not. Glad that we're all not barren. I hope you guys had fun tonight. I definitely did. If you had fun, Venmo, PayPal, send some money. Try to pick the funniest dollar amount and send it, and then we'll tell you if that was funny or not. And the higher, the funnier.
69 is hilarious.
69 would be so funny.
It'd be so funny if you did that.
Hell yeah.
funnier than $69 is $420. Shouts to that. Follow all of us on all the things. Follow Comedy Wham. Comedy Wham does this every Friday. So we've got another one coming up next Friday. Colton will be back hanging out with you guys. We've got some more amazing comics. Yeah, show your love, show your support. Tell the comedians that you liked them. We love compliments because we don't hear laughter in person anymore. So yeah, and maybe somebody will send you a picture of their panties. Anyways, I'm Gabby. Thanks for hanging out with us. See y'all next week.
Yeah.